Oh, this is a smart choice, just right off the bat, going by picking first to get Nova off of the ability to target ban, but I don't know about this Valheim ban.
Getting some reminiscent thoughts of Season 2 and the permaban Valheim.
Yeah, I think this is overreacting. I don't think Valheim was the thing that
Oxy
lost
was
in the
good.
2-0-10.
good.
2-0-10 is pretty good.
Oxy...
Essentially, Stunbot Valheim works out pretty well.
And Oxy had so much lane clear in the early game that it really extended how long it took for Sky to get going.
Team E banned away. Of course, the Florentino coming out for Nova Esports. Letting down. Now, this is something that Nova Esports does repeatedly during the ban phase, is they spend a lot of the time before they even think about getting a ban, because not only are they talking about what they are banning, that's also Jay Jesse talking to his team, reacting to the bans from the enemy.
A very tactical draft phase, and it will settle on a net ban. This means the Elsu must be banned, I feel, by one of these two sides, just because he's too powerful to let go through, but Qlash, with the first pick, can afford to let it last. So I'm actually very surprised. They're playing for the Elsu. They'll ban out the side lane marksman that they don't think Sky will get. Then they'll go for the theory that Nova cannot let the Elsu through, and they'll walk away with the Sephora. But if Nova flip the tables, stall it out, then they get Sky on an Elsu, and they're so happy with that.
Oh no, they forgot to lock it in. Jay Jesse, that's not something you get your team doing in and every day, which is immediately going to give an Elsu, but the potential Sephora over to Nova.
I think that's a massive win for Qlash, because yes, they made this gamble. Maybe Nova gets Sephora Richter. They're okay with that because Sky is that good.
They will possibly get that set for Richter, like you mentioned, though, so it's not all lost here for Nova if they can make this work, but they're...
Lindis coming out from Oxy.
Oh.
Very good pick. We've seen a lot of Lindis bans.
We didn't even notice that Lindis was not banned in Europe, even though she was about 100% banned earlier.
I like this immediate reaction, though, by Qlash to lock in the Liliana immediately because they saw the Nova hover. They're trying to get a little bit of a takeaway. Mina seemed to be the next locked in. It is for Qlash and support.
Sephora can be played in either support or mage, so just because it's locked in doesn't mean that it's not played in the mid role.
Exactly. I'm really curious to see what Nova's going to do as far as filling in that side.
The Omen will come through, and that will give them the side lane they were looking for from Coco. They do go with a Boldum for Grizzly Q.
Not sure we've seen Grizzly Q on that bottom in the past.
The Roxy hovered as a response to the Omen. We do often theorize Roxy wins lane, and you said that that random Coco lane was one of the most important in the game.
Exactly, because that was the opposite matchup earlier. We had the Omen for random and the Roxy for Coco, and that was won by Coco that game.
You've also commented about how Random has the capability of playing Roxy in that side lane. Zephys now being the final lock-in as well in the jungle for Qlash. One player left remaining to potentially click here for Nova Esports.
This should be a melee. This should be a melee, and it is.
Quillen.
So that's going to be side lane Lindis coming through, having to play into an Elsu, which actually isn't the worst, but you're still having to play into Sky's Elsu, which I would be terrified by. And then you also have the Quillen potentially as a dive, but Redemption swapped away from the Wonder Woman over to a frontline brawling jungle assassin. A little bit more damage, and I think that's a good trade.
Does this draft composition for Qlash bode better for them in game number one?
Yes.
Absolutely. One thing that's interesting is that you would expect Quillen to be able to counter the Elsu, and that's actually not the case because he has the ability to get that vision from his sentries. And if you have those all around the map, then Quillen has a really hard time getting around. And the funny thing is, if you try to get rid of those sentries, that means you're sitting duck literally on top of those sentries trying to make them go away.
It's also going to be a huge component of whether or not Red is going to be able to show some aggression early on that Zephys because of what we have from Vex, because we know of his severe amount of early game map awareness and the style that Nova likes to play. That's a lot of pressure that you're putting on Red on someone like a Zephys that needs to show pressure early and needs to affect the enemy team.
I do think the Zephys gives him, like the Wonder Woman, a little bit more of a frontline role. You can brawl with the Zephys in the middle of the fight, and he also has, depending on how you build and how you play, the potential to chase kills. So it gives them a bit more flexibility than the Wonder Woman, which is dedicated to that teamfight role.
So who does Vex target? Because there's 3 beefy heroes. There's a Liliana who can dash away, and there's an Elsu who can spot you.
Whoever the Boldum scoops.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Because that's the duo. You rely on GrizzlyQ to open the fights, then you punish that.
See, I also think that because they have such two strong side laners that are capable of the solo duel, this is an opportunity for Nova to go for less of a 5v5 team fight and go for something more of a skirmish in the jungle. This has something that they have done in the past when they're capable of putting both of their side laners in a great position. They can roam their mid, jungle, and support together, try to catch out members, and then use those for the objective control that we know them for so well.
That's what Nova's been doing so well in the past.
They have indeed. But gentlemen, it's time to go. Our last game of the European region for the day. Qlash has one more opportunity to put a loss in the column. The last contender standing between Nova and undisputed top of Europe.
The undefeated regional champions will start things off scaring Mowgli.
GrizzlyQ says, "Hi Mowgli, how's it going?" And then Sky says, "Go away, please." So, what I'm looking forward to in this matchup is, again, random. He has the punish on his side. How much damage, how much havoc can he cause? Can he do the same thing that Coco did last game?
Oxy's put up top, not into the Elsu.
Very smart. Oxy, even though he's not going to get as much farm, this is a great matchup for him. And over in the bottom lane, you don't even really interact with Elsu anyway, so having Omen there doesn't make much of a difference.
Are they swapping?
Yeah.
No, they
Qlash.
wouldn't put the Elsu away from his power farm.
They really just want this good matchup, and you see Nova already playing mind games with Qlash, and it's really affecting them.
I really dislike that because I would rather random lose lane the whole time than live in a world where, oh, and they're just going to swap counter. You can see Coco drifting up top. I would really rather that Elsu get the extra farm from the bottom lane.
Well, losing is a relative term, TJ, because he was getting dominated.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe you just don't want to sacrifice the kills.
And look how fast Oxy goes. This is so bad because they can rotate so much quicker.
And GrizzlyQ's here, just as random pushes wave a little bit too far forward for their liking. GrizzlyQ arrives on cue.
Oh, that's very nice. I like what you did with that.
Thanks. Mowgli getting chipped down a little bit on his own in the mid lane. That's the power of the Saffron, just whittling away at that HP.
So useful for multiple players to be able to play that Saffron for Poseidon. I really am curious to see how well he will play this, because he can provide so many problems for Qlash.
Abyssal does go over to Nova, Oxy claiming it. I'm worried for Sky. You cannot keep swapping lanes like this.
Exactly, especially because Oxy just walks around and just clears so quickly that it's hard to keep up.
He'll try and take advantage of his snipe here, but Coco has been taking advantage of the lane swaps.
Oh no.
Half HP on the tower gone, wave missed, randoms behind.
These swaps are just, they're favoring Nova so much, you can't even put it into words. TJ, I'm flummoxed.
I'll put it into words. 6.2 to 5.6, 300 gold lead. I can't keep up. About a 300 gold lead. Not super significant yet, but it will add up.
Exactly, especially when the towers are under pressure like that. It puts so much pressure on Qlash to keep up to make sure the towers don't fall.
Qlash. Group up towards mid. 3 players there as GrizzlyQ and Poseidon play defense. Are they really swapping again? They're just chasing this matchup. Sky comes up.
This helps Oxy because he needs to go back to base anyway. He has no mana. He's like, all right, that works for me.
And Random, in the meantime, does get damage onto Coco. Good Agni's grasp. That works out quite well. Coco even ballsy enough to dip back. That might cost him as Zefta and Redemption come through. That'll be the flicker.
Oh.
Zefta misses the blinding light. Coco does land the Death's Embrace as a result, but it's on to Random, who isn't targeted by the tower. Wild Prison won't snag him. Qlash get a kill, and they get free.
Qlash finally smacked back after all that nonsense with the switching. They say enough, and they get the kill. Well, try going back to that lane. Try it. Just try it.
Okay. They're doing it.
Okay, they're going to go back to lane. I'm sorry.
Look, swap happening literally right now.
Okay.
Hey,
Qlash, we're gonna punish you again then.
GrizzlyQ will drift back. That is Oxy in the bot lane again, facing into the Roxy. That's the favorable matchup for the Omen up top. Does get punished. Coco in a lot of trouble, actually. Mowgli went in lane. The snipe goes wide, though. Sky can't quite land the shot at that long a range.
That is a huge deal because the Nova takes the Abyssal Dragon for free now. It would have been a punish, but it's not.
Yep, that does mean Qlash are falling slightly behind. Last game, we said it's Nova's early game. Do you think the same is true here?
I think they really have so many late game tools because Poseidon, once he gets farmed up, he's going to be able to not only be able to brawl with people, but also heal his entire team. Vex, obviously, on the Quillen's going to have the same situation, and Oxy on that Lind is going to have so much damage, so they can afford to fall a little bit behind here.
However, Nova are being punished here. Oh, that's a good Wild Prison. That could turn the tables. We'll have to defend Sky coming out of the Wild Prison. Grizzly Q can't quite find the scoop, though. He'll have to back up. Sefta instead takes the front lines and is chained in. Mowgli with the Dark Dominion needs to save his ally, and he can't do it. They're both gone. Sefta and Mowgli fall, and Redemption's just fleeing as Vex is hot on his heels. Sky suddenly pops his head out of a bush and sees 4 people barreling towards him, narrowly making it to safety. Nova have completely turned the tables, and they'll keep doing so as Random misses his Agni's grasp. Oxy's hot on his heels and will turn this fight. Another kill to Nova, 3 in a row in the mid-game.
TJ, that tide of life earlier from Poseidon healed his entire team. That is why Sephora is so powerful. That fight was completely flipped on its head when that happened.
Nova backing off and playing defense across the map. They know they've earned their lead. They won't go for any pushes now that they've gotten that top tower.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Redemption in, chases Oxy. There's the death from above. A kill back to them.
A little bit too greedy from Oxy there.
Now the Death's Embrace does get spent, but Coco may have overextended if Random can get these kills. He's tied up forward. He does land the Axe's grasp. The tower will get the kill as Vex flees back.
This is a matchup that we need to look forward to for the rest of the game. Vex on the Qilin versus Sky on the Elsu. Just because Vex gets farmed up does not mean he can't get completely annihilated by Sky when Sky gets his damage up there.
My goodness. Qlash. You are making a game out of this, but it seems so close to racing out to their fingertips.
Yeah, every single moment here is just walking on a tightrope.
And that tightrope is covered in oil. It's slippery. That's what,
yeah.
That sounded weird.
It's very, very hard to navigate the tightrope. Are there water spirits on there too? Perhaps?
It's a maze, it's a tightrope maze.
Of wild prisons and charges.
Yep.
And stomps.
We got there. Good workshopping. Sky flag defense in the bot lane isn't quite able to land this knife for the first time in a while. Qlash do a vision of this Abyssal Dragon.
Through all this nonsense, though, Nova does have that gold lead, so I think they're starting to climb ahead, and they're feeling it too.
Yep, they'll push forward, chasing Mowgli and Sky back in the bottom lane. Grizzly Q takes the lead, chasing Mowgli and isolating him. That could get very dangerous. Mowgli, he talked to minions too! That is beautiful! Grizzly Q gets free. Qlash don't chase too far as Oxy turns the table. Zephyr will come through. Redemption's burned down. That's a complete flip. And Mowgli's gone as well. Vex diving forward, well underneath the tower. Will pay for it. Sky there to swat him down. He might get Grizzly Q. There's the flicker forward, but he doesn't quite have the range. And now Oxy's content to brawl him up front. Oxy turns the tables, and Nova are in big trouble.
Oh my goodness. Somehow they turned that fight, and they needed to, TJ, because the entire time there was a push up top by Random. He did get a tower, but not enough.
One tower down bottom will flip in favor of Nova. Nova were in big trouble, and Qlash lose it all because of Oxy.
Oh, but hand it to Mowgli, though. Gotta hand it.
Random. Poseidon with the water spirits does not quite get the kill.
Oh my goodness, I was gonna say, you gotta hand to Mowgli because that Dark Dominion, that is how you kill a Sephora. You lock her down so that she can't use Tides of Life, and that's what you're gonna have to do multiple times here if you're Qlash.
Sky currently leading the kill count for Qlash. Oxy dominating his teams. In the battle of the sidelines, is the Lindis winning?
I wouldn't say that quite yet. There's a lot of gold on the side of Sky, and he's doing his job here. He's scaring off Vex multiple times, and that's what you need to see him continue to do. He has that Muramasa to his name. Look for the Fenrir's tooth to come to next, and by then, he will be doing so much damage.
Quillen or Elsu certainly more of a later game character.
Right, he can do damage right from the beginning, but it won't kill anyone. Once it starts getting to the mid and late game, he will kill them from almost full health. It's kind of crazy.
Qlash have kind of grouped defensively though, and that's normally a bad sign for teams playing Nova, because it lets Nova take control of the match, and that's exactly what they do, finding random isolated, and it's Zefta and Mowgli to rotate through, only 2 of them, meaning that they don't quite have enough to really turn this, even if they could find an ideal engage.
I gotta say, this is the first time I'll say this all season, but I'm disappointed in GrizzlyQ's play. He continuously misses these wild charges. Probably should be in a better position before he uses them.
Will not try and land that one. Mowgli pulls the ball in. That's a good wild prison though. Saving the fight perhaps. Sky knocked quite low by it. Will just back off, clearing wave while the tower himself is chipped quite low.
Mowgli tried to make something out of that, but obviously 1v4, it was odds against him the entire time. Good Dr. Minion in that moment though.
Coco does land the Death's Embrace. Redemption, the primary focus, will get melted alongside the tower he thought would save him.
This is the power of a Quill, and once you start getting farmed up, no one is safe from your damage.
And we're starting to see Vex there, soloing the Dark Slayer here.
Well, the issue is, if you look at the Red's build, if you look at Redemption's build, there's no defense other than the Sonic Boots. Of course he's going to go down quickly. I don't think this was the right build to go against Nova here.
He's not really fulfilling that secondary tank role we theorized he might.
He's not getting the kills either, so I don't know the purpose of this damagey build. He has very low gold.
And that's definitely hurting him. Sky will back up. Oxy nearby, scaring him back again. I ask, did the Lindis beat the Elsu this game?
You're really pushing me on that one.
I am.
Starting to look like I will hand you that.
Random. Would have won that fight, but he doesn't win it with Vex nearby.
Yeah, Vex is doing a great job rotating over to get those kills.
That might just seem obnoxious, but because GrizzlyQ gets that, nobody's there to defend wave.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. They're not able to do anything about that tower.
The Drake summon in the bot lane secures another tower to Nova Esports. I'll get into the high grounds in a moment.
Has Nova flipped the switch? How are they doing it now? Are they just going to win the game out of nowhere, TJ?
Dark Dominion from Mowgli will try and turn the table. Zefta, there is a good combo. Coco will have overextended. He's down. Oxy's low as well. Redemption gets 2. He'll back off. There's Mowgli through. No D2. No, they have not. No, they're slaughtered underneath the tower. And Qlash stands strong.
Oh, you're welcome, Qlash. You're welcome for that caster curse that I gave you.
Can GrizzlyQ get free? Well, prison, oh, maybe that's enough. Death Row buff misses, GrizzlyQ gets out.
That is pretty big, because now he can potentially contest some of these major objectives and not allow Qlash to snowball this game back into their favor.
Big damage onto Zefta. Qlash will surely go down. Does not quite have the damage, and that's a double kill back over. There will be a lot of trouble in the cards with both Zefta and Mowgli gone.
GrizzlyQ just looked at a Reiki shot in the face and just ate it like it was no big deal.
That's why I love Veldum. Veldum doesn't have to care about your damage.
What is damage? I don't even know what that is.
Okay, you said Snowball and Qlash in the same sentence. Is that possible?
That's the only way for them to come back in this game. If they get another, or just a wipe on their side, if Nova overextends like that again, then they can start pushing, then they can get a major objective. The problem is Nova know that. They know that if they take away this objective, even if they overextend, it doesn't matter, because there's no way for Qlash to come back other than just taking towers themselves.
Enraged Abyssal. Picked up here for Nova. No contest in time. GrizzlyQ's playing very far forward to zone.
Yeah, not only very far forward, but getting rid of all these sentries. That is a really big deal, because not only does it take away the vision, but it lowers the damage on the snipes that come toward your team.
Now Nova begin to push forward across the map. They have the Enraged Abyssal buff. They'll take any team fight they take right.
Exactly, and look for them to be extremely aggressive and push onto this bottom tower to make sure it goes.
Coco with a Blade of Eternity. It's the only one up for Nova. Wild Prison, though, does land. Redemption comes out of it, and the tower's already gone, but he does dive Oxy. The Death Flurry, it's not enough. The healing's even there for the Tides of Life. They can't find a major kill. Random will try and go forward, turning the table, but he's scooped out of position. And Qlash have lost 2 major players. Mowgli's Dark Dominion does get Coco, but he's got the Blade. He'll be right back, and he will survive.
He absolutely will. Nova are pushing. They're pushing hard into there.
One high ground tower already gone. That is not enough to take game, but it's certainly enough for Qlash to be in trouble, because it's 20 long seconds before their team's back up.
I think Nova might be able to push this into game if they play the cards right.
There's another high ground tower ended. Sky's assassinated. That's probably it. Nicely done by Vex. Mowgli tries to stall up. He's scooped in. Zefta needs to be the main source of damage, and there are minions approaching, attacking the core. It's Redemption God. Zefta, maybe to save the game. He's got the wave, but it doesn't matter at this point, as Nova have overwhelming damage and game 2.
We've seen it before. Nova flipped the switch once again, and Qlash cannot hold on, not at all, under the might of the champions of Europe.